Hi, I am Dmitro Shvets, your host at the Start Global Insights, where I interview experts in different countries about local business secrets and international expansion experience. Today we will talk about Ukraine and how to do business in this country, as even during the war, it has a tremendous potential for international trade. And not to be biased about the country, I asked to help me the general manager of Cisco Ukraine, Sergii Martynchuk. Sergei has more than 20 years of experience in sales and developing business in Ukraine and several other CIS countries. So I believe that we will have a lot of insights today. Hi, Sergei. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Dima. It's great to hear you.
How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm fine as well. Yeah, so despite the missiles flying over our heads, we're still making business. And I think that it would be a nice and interesting talk today.
Yeah, you caught me by surprise, and I wasn't prepared, so I expect we will not have questions below the belt.
Yeah, I know that you are still operating in Ukraine as a company, yeah, so in Cisco, and you are still selling here. How would you describe the current situation, current sales? Is it getting better despite the war? And what is the situation right now?
Yeah. We are operating, that's for sure. But definitely, sales and overall business changed significantly, and the biggest changes. What I can see, our equipment is very much needed, especially for the government and critical infrastructure companies. So, connectivity and cybersecurity is one of the biggest needs after probably weapon on the battlefield. So that's why we are here. We are here to help to the government in terms of commercial sector and overall business. Yes, for sure, it's struggling. But what is good, I already see some signs of recovery. And what is very much interesting, I see some projects which are long term. So companies are planning something much ahead, after the win and few years ahead, which is very much surprising. So I'm always asking, do you know something, or you have some insights, or what's the conspiracy about this? But it is probably, it's like human nature. We cannot stay still, so we need to plan something in order to survive, and that's really good.
Yeah, I think that this is obvious that Ukraine will win. The only question is when. Yeah, and
I would say we cannot lose.
yeah, definitely. And it is a question not of Ukraine only, it is a question of the whole democratic world. But I see the same situation with foreign interest. We are now talking a lot with many potential exporters and companies that are looking at Ukraine as a market, and they are also preparing. So they understand that, especially in B2B business, it will take time to understand the market to prepare it for the entry. And it should be done now. Yeah, so not like we're waiting until the end of the war and then we'll start preparing. So there is a huge interest.
Very true and very interesting observation. I'm also a board member of American Chamber of Commerce, and it was interesting for me to observe when starting, I don't know, even from the summer, I see new companies entering, becoming chamber members, and those are companies from US, from Europe, who would like to explore. Basically, like you said, they would like to understand Ukrainian market in advance in order to be ready for huge growth, I would say. And they are investing. Some of them already have some presence in Ukraine. I was very much surprised. I cannot name the company, but it is very big, like blue chip company. And I haven't heard about their office or whatever in Ukraine, but figure out that they have several hundreds of people. Basically, those are like research and development, but they have presence here and they are becoming more and more active. So, and I believe business is very much uh, easy to understand. Business is following the money, and right now it is quite a big flow of money going into Ukraine from all types of donors like World Bank, USAID, EBRD, whatever. And I believe it will be increasing. So that's why big business is definitely looking forward to see the growth in Ukraine, and they are preparing for this.
Sergey, I know that so you are selling IT, yeah. So you are selling equipment and software,
Yeah.
but doing so, you are dealing almost with all sectors in Ukraine, yeah. So with retail and with production facilities and with mining as well. So you are covering almost everything. It is interesting to hear your opinion. So let's imagine that you are a foreign business and you are looking to enter Ukraine with some goods, I don't know, with clothes, for example. And if you were a foreign business looking to enter Ukraine, what would be your way of entry? What would you do to be successful here?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because we're already here, we already on the market. For us, this job was done, but still, uh, we are exploring new niches as well. So Cisco is developing new products, and sometimes we need to enter new markets as well. So, but if to talk, for example, in B2B, if you would like to go into Ukraine, definitely you should have a plan, and you should build a plan in advance. And this plan should take into account, route to market. So, for example, I would encourage to have some local partners or distributors, because we still have local specifics, especially for companies from US and from EU. You know, all questions with regards to the logistic, currency exchange risks, etc., etc. So there are a lot of questions that need to be solved before you enter the market, like where you will have a stock, how you will deliver, what kind of maintenance you should provide, and who will do this, etc., etc. So it's better to have some local partners who will help you, at least on initial stage, because it can take some time for you to be ready for this. And for example, Cisco is still not we still that's our business model. We operate through partners. We have quite a big chain of partners here in Ukraine, more than 200, several distributors. So that's why we are benefiting out of it a lot. So that's our way to enter the market. And I really encourage to have somebody here local, especially on the sales side. Yes, you can do some sales from abroad, but if you would like to have sustainable business, and you would like to expand, you need to have, sooner or later you will need to have people here. So, for example, in our market, when some system integrators from abroad are trying to enter the market, my first requirement would be you need to have local people, and you need to start from pre-sales, for example, in order to deliver the value of your product to the customer. In order to understand customer needs, you need to have somebody who will talk to them. So that's no brainer. So that's why you should have this prepared in advance. You can start, if it is, for example, software as a service, then you can start business from abroad, but that's like one particular business. If you have some real products, if you have some services, you need to build a plan how to enter the market.
For example, yeah, so the company would like to find local partner. Do you have any hints or from your experience suggestions how to look for them? What to pay attention? Yeah, what are the filters or criterias of choice of local partner?
Yeah, that's very tricky point, because wrong partner can definitely ruin your business. That's for sure. So that's why you should spend some time. You should do due diligence. You should ask for references. So, for example, you can start from some business communities, because being part of business community, it is already some sort of credibility, at least not your own, but like borrowed from the union you're joining to. So that's why you can start from there. But then you should ask for reference. You should I don't know, give some try to have some trials if you're in the business, they can already show some experience working with companies like yours, or working with a market you are entering to or you're aiming to. So that's why due diligence is definitely needed. So you should not like rely on first person who you will see in Ukraine saying that yes, I can sell your products. So that's definitely will not fly.
Yeah, I remember we actually started to attract foreign investments to Ukraine already in 2004 or something. And I remember that time, so when a foreigner just came to Ukraine, and then the first person he met says that, well, we do everything, so we will be the best partner. Trust me, I know everybody. I know the correct people here, so you can do business with me. And then after a couple of months, it's no notice from this person, and totally lost in the country and in the market.
So definitely, I would not. I would not advise to give some exclusive right to somebody from the beginning, because you will be trapped. You should have some ability to to make some changes after the trial or after some initial period of. If partnership is good, it's great. You should move forward. But once something goes wrong, you should be able to have this flexibility.
What about the further actions? So, for example, I know that in many cases, companies that enter other countries, they like found a partner, gave them the products, and then once a year they're just calling, asking how it's going. Do you need to support the sales? Do you need to understand the market by yourself?
Yeah, that's definitely not a good example. So you should not. First of all, you should educate your partners and your customers as well. So if it is your product, you should make first steps, and you should set some example. For example, you can have some initial meetings together with them. You should pick up some, you can call it bowling pin. Those customers who should be your first target, just in order to show that you are able to do this, and to show to your partners that your product is super good, and they should spend more time resources working with you, but not like any other, either your competitors or even other companies. So you should definitely spend time, effort, resources in order to explore the market and to help your partners. You should pretend that partner is kind of next to your shoulder, or even a bit behind. So you should not expect that they will do everything for you, and you should just relax and count the money flowing from Ukraine. No, that's for sure not like this.
That's why it is called partnership. Yeah, so to do some things together, and yeah, many companies forget about that. Question. So I know that you are responsible not only for Ukraine, at least you have been responsible in
Yeah.
several years for other CIS countries like Belarus, Moldova, Armenia, Georgia, and other Asian countries like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, so the
Mhm.
Kyrgyzstan as well. Yeah. Do you see the difference? So because in my experience, the major attitude to all post-Soviet countries, the CIS countries, is kind of the same. Like you're all from the USSR. Yeah. So do you see any particular differences between Ukraine and the rest of CIS countries?
I started to work with those countries in 2013, as far as I remember, 2013, 2014. Yeah, my biggest mistake was exactly like this. So I thought that we have the same post-Soviet Union legacy, so we are almost the same. We can use the same language, which is quite a big advantage. So I don't need to use English, or I don't need to learn, I don't know, Belarusian language in order to work with them. So that was my assumption. I would say, like, very not very strong, but there was kind of assumption. And then I learned that yeah, every country has its own flavor, I would say. So some of them they used to have it before. Even in Soviet Union, we just simply we were not acknowledging this. I would say some of the countries, I believe, they've got this flavor, for the last 30 years, considering all the movements. And it was very interesting. My experience, my first year was like every country. It was like eye-opening experience for me. To have some general, I would say, hints. If you are moving to East, you can be amazed by the hospitality, but that's the trick. It's very hard to separate wheat from chaff. So you need to spend some time. Uh, Sometimes you need to spend a lot of time in order to build such relationships that you will clearly understand that yes, it's yes, and no, it's no. Because from the on the first meeting, most likely you will not hear no, because it's quite rude for them to say because you're the guest. But by this amazement, you can be kind of misled, I would say. In countries like Belarus, for example, what I observed, and we can we can see it right now. There is a level of suspicious a bit higher than comparing to Ukraine, due to the reasons we know already. In Ukraine, I believe, we are more straightforward. So if it is yes, then yes. If it is no, then no. If you would like to do business with somebody, you will do everything and anything possible. If you don't like to do business, you will not spend time on this person or on this company. So we are becoming more like, I don't know, US, EU types of business.
Talking about value and coming back to sales in Ukraine, how easy it is to reach a decision-making person currently? If you have value, yeah, of course, you should have something to propose.
I think that it is quite an easy right now in Ukraine to reach to almost anybody, especially if you have some value. So it's not just like you're uh, commis voyageur trying to sell some shit. No, if there is a product and you understand that you can address some business needs of a company, I believe it is easier to reach a person. Even cold calls, cold emails, cold whatever, still work in Ukraine. So, for example, I read emails, I read messages in LinkedIn. It doesn't mean that I respond to everybody, because if I see that that's the like garbage, I will not respond. Or if I see that message is not personalized, I will not respond. But if I see that message is for me, and there is a kind of probability that I don't know, buy this product, I will respond. At least I will say that it's not a good time, or we already have one, or something. So I understand that sales, that's job. It should be appreciated. I believe most of the managers are looking for good people. So, for example, and we are always looking for good salespeople. If I see that somebody did tremendous job in reaching me out, I will be interested to hear or see this person. Just maybe we'll have a chance to work together in the future. So that's why it is, that's kind of sales flavor. So we are always looking for some good talents.
Well, that also says about the long-term thinking.
Yeah, you also mentioned a very good point for those companies who would like to enter Ukrainian market. You should keep, or you should have long-term perspective in your mind. So if you're like, for example, you see that yes, after war there will be business here, and you would like to come here for, I don't know, for a year to take the most out of it and then leave. I don't know. You can try, but definitely you will not be so much supported. You should have long-term perspective in your head, and you should act having long-term perspective in your head. Then you will be able to build sustainable business, and you will be able to get maximum out of it.
Just yesterday, I asked my UK friend what stereotypes does he have about Ukraine, and he said that in most cases the stereotype that it is not transparent, it is not legally transparent as well, so correct in the country. But is it possible to make business in Ukraine in a transparent way and still be efficient and profitable?
Yeah, I clearly believe that it's possible, and there are a lot of examples of this. But I understand why such a perception those people can have. Because, for example, even right now, we have one stream of news about good things that we are doing for Ukraine on the battlefield and how brave we are, etc. And then you can have second stream of some corruption scandals, and that is coming hand to hand, which is not very good and business wise. So and if you're in business, you can see this, you can feel it. So definitely there are businesses which are uh, doing something based or using some corrupt methods, but it's not like it is accepted everywhere. It's not like when you're coming to Ukraine, you will next day you will have some guy in your door with a bag begging for a bribe. Definitely, it's not like this. So right now you can run your business, and you can run your business transparently, and you can have high chances that nobody will ask you any bribes, or even if they ask, you can not give. So you have this option, and some people they just think that they don't have any options. So that's why it's like um, it's a bit a challenge. But you should always believe that it's your choice first of all.
There is this saying, yeah, it needs two to tango, yeah. So if you would like to dance, then you need two partners to be in the same mood and the way of thinking. Thanks God, we have a lot of opportunities. Yeah, so we have a lot of companies that you can choose among.
Just what I wanted to add, it's Ukraine right now is very much famous, especially after latest Davos, etc. We are famous for digital development and for digitizations that we have in our country, and I believe this will also help to. I would not say eliminate, but that will help to be less corrupted, because once it is digital, you have less power to influence this, and you will be able to get some permissions, licenses, just in electronic mode, which is people um, without any engagement with people who can ask for a bribe or to whom you can give a bribe. So that's definitely helping for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, and it is also making your activity in the country much quicker.
Yeah.
True, true. Talking about that, yeah, how and I know that Cisco is doing a lot of business, and you actually said it in the beginning that you are doing a lot of business with the government, and you are doing that for quite a long time already. Do you see the dynamics or some changes in attitude from government to business? And would you advise to make business or to do business with government and to sell to them something if you are entering the country?
So right now, government is the biggest customer, because what I've told, there is quite huge, I would say, injection of money happening into the government. So um, that's why if you would like to do business and big business in Ukraine, most likely you will kind of somehow will be connected with the government. You can do business, that's for sure. And what we are telling about, it is more and more digital, so that's why you can do business even without engaging with, I don't know, hundreds of people just in order to agree on something. Also, you can, as I said, you can follow the money, but you can follow like US money or EU money, which will have um, more and more like safety in terms of external control. So if you're participating in some bidding which is run by World Bank or USAID, you will basically most likely you will have the same approach, or you will have the same requirements as you have in all other countries where World Bank operating. So that's why it is becoming more and more easier to work with the government. You should not exclude government sector or government accounts from your target audience. So
Yeah, and I know it would be still good to have a local partner for that, and not only not because they know somebody in the government, but because they know how to approach, where to find this information, how to apply. And also, I know that donors that you mentioned, this USAID or EBRD, they also nurture this partnership. Yeah, so this cooperation between foreign company that would like to enter the country and then the local ones to establish this intercultural and international cooperation for further business growth.
yeah, exactly.
From your experience working for an international company, for actually foreign company, what do you think are the biggest mistakes that foreign businesses are making entering Ukraine?
You should check all the assumptions you have, and basically it would be good even to to write down those assumptions, because you can have false assumptions in this list, and the sooner you will find it and you will fix it, the better results you will have. um, even some of the false assumptions you can hear even from Ukrainians, and then you should also kind of have in mind that they can overestimate their resources or their knowledge of the market. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And also, quite a big mistake would be to treat Ukraine, as a third-rated country, believing that you can come here with some cheap, shitty product and we will take it. That's not true. We are more and more getting used to good quality, quality of products, quality of services. So that's why don't believe that it will be easy job for you. You just it's not like you just need to come here and say that I'm here, I'm ready to sell, and everyone will buy it just because you are a foreigner. That's not true. We have a lot of examples right now of good products, good services made in Ukraine, and due to this high level of increasing national interest. For example, I would rather buy something local, which is good quality, comparing to something foreign. So that's why you should take it into account.
Let's slightly touch the negotiation culture. Is it still this culture of zero sum result? Yeah, when there is only one winning party in the negotiation, or is it changing towards this win-win approach or interest-based negotiations and long-term relationship in communication with your partners, for example, in Ukraine?
Oh, it's definitely not zero sum anymore. I believe right now our business is trying to find some win-win solution for all the parties involved. Otherwise, as we said, it will not be sustainable and it will not be long term. So if you're just using your partners, if you're just using your suppliers, it cannot stay forever. So, for example, in our case, if you're a B2B account, you can ask for lowest price, and you can just do anything possible in order to get just the lowest possible price on the market. Yes, you can get it, but then you will have a lot of side effects, of negative side effects of this. You will have low quality of support because suppliers will not be interested to invest because they don't have any margin on it. You will not have support in terms of education, in terms of some knowledge delivery, etc., etc. So that's I believe long term it will not bring you good results.
True, true, and I also believe that you don't need to underestimate the service requirement that Ukrainians already have. Yeah, so we, at least what I hear now from those Ukrainians that are now in other countries, they are lacking that level of service that we are accustomed to already. Yeah, so the sales of goods in Ukraine is not only goods anymore. You need to add value and in support in making a good service to your customer, and that's a very required now by Ukrainians, and you need to be prepared for that as well. Good. Thank you for such interesting conversation. I would, of course, yeah, dig deeper, and we could talk several hours more about Ukraine. I have a small blitz quiz game for you today about the stereotypes of about Ukraine. I will ask some questions. They are short, and then you need to answer yes or no.
Okay, let's try.
To do business with Ukrainians, you need to have a strong liver, as it is obligatory to drink to get trust.
Sometimes still yes.
Okay. Ukrainians are not following rules or laws when it doesn't suit.
um, I would not say like exactly yes, but for example, there are some rules or laws that can be overruled, I would say, by Ukrainians. But it's not like because we are like rule breakers. It's just like this.
Okay, yeah, I think that it is also because of the legacy of Soviet Union laws that are not correctly written. Yeah, so they are now changing, and it could be better in the future. Okay, Salo and Borsch are the national treasures.
Yeah, that's true.
It was not safe to travel in the country even before the war.
No, completely not true.
And the last one, freedom is one of the highest values among Ukrainians.
Yeah, that's true.